Hi everyone, my name is Chef Sash and welcome to Sash Kachula. Today I'm going to make some Desi Chinese for you. I'll weave in a little bit of a story about how Desi Chinese was invented in India. But today I'm going to make Gobi Manchurian as well as some Veg Hakka noodles for you. So let's get right into the ingredients. Here I have cauliflower. I've blanched this and added some turmeric and paprika and some olive oil, a little bit of vinegar and salt, and kept it aside. And then you will see a bunch of veggies here. I have bell pepper, I have mushrooms, some ginger and garlic, and then some tomatoes, onions, a lot of chopped mint here, and then carrots. I have again some bell peppers. You will see that I have veggies cut in two different ways. One is a julienne style, which is cut it lengthwise. That is more for the Hakka noodles. And then finely chopped, that's largely for the Gobi Manchurian. So then I have mint, chopped mint, celery, and jalapeno. And then my favorites here, spring onions. And here is a mixture of finely chopped garlic, ginger, and jalapeno. And then finally some finely chopped celery. So you will see that wherever when you make the noodles, try to use the veggies that are cut lengthwise. It takes some time, but prepare yourself in advance so that you don't have to cut while you're cooking. And then I have some sauces here. I have some cornstarch and some pre-boiled pasta. So let's get started on making some my version of Gobi Manchurian and Hakka noodle. I've got some oil here in a small vessel, and I'm going to be frying these florets of cauliflower. I showed you how I had marinated them. I've added a little bit of cornstarch to them so that it gets a bit crispy. So let's start with frying these. One thing about Desi Chinese cooking, especially when it's being done at home, is that you want to do it on a high flame. So as we are deep frying these florets of cauliflower, I'll tell you a little bit about Indian Chinese. It's an adaptation of Chinese cooking, applying the techniques and the Indian spices. So it is a mix, and it's very popular in India. You don't get it that well in the US. Each restaurant has its own style. I've personally not liked Desi Chinese anywhere in the US. Maybe a few dishes here and there. So try to make it your own. You don't have to stick to any recipe. Whatever works for you. But coming back to Desi Chinese, you can read it on the internet. It originated in Calcutta. There was obviously some Chinese folks who moved into Calcutta and were experimenting with food, and that's how Indian Chinese was born. It seems quite obvious, but one thing I did want to tell you is some of these dishes that we have invented in India, no one's in China has heard of them. So things like chicken Manchurian, potato Szechuan, they are not in the Chinese cuisine. So there's one Mr. Nelson Wang. You may want to look him up. He's been credited with inventing chicken Manchurian. He used to work for the Cricket Club of India and stumbled upon this dish, Chinese chicken Manchurian, as we all know it. So hats off to him for experimenting, and it's people like these that invent food that inspire me. The florets are crisp now. I have some spices here that I'm going to just layer over it and then squeeze some lime. You can serve this as a side dish as well. It doesn't have to be part of a Manchurian. If you do so, then maybe you want to make it more crisp and double fry it. I don't want to double fry it because it's going to be part of the Manchurian, but what I'm going to do is, like I said, pour some of these spices that I have, paprika and some salt, and squeeze a little bit of lime there and keep it aside before we get to the Manchurian here. Okay. I'm going to start preparing the base for the Manchurian. Remember to put it on high flame here. I'm going to use the very oil that I used for deep frying. I'm going to first pour in the finely chopped garlic, jalapeno, and ginger. The ginger and garlic are getting brown, so I'm going to add half the onions. I'll use the other half for the Hakka noodles. Put in the chopped celery. I'm going to put some spring onions now, and then I'll use it for garnish as well in both the dishes. And put in some mint. And then some finely chopped bell pepper. Actually, all of it. I usually put salt while sauteing my veggies. When they're nicely being done, put some pepper, either white or black, either works. I have this chili garlic sauce with me. It's from Lee Kumki and works fine. I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons of this, maybe 3. And I'm going to put some soy sauce in this. Add some vinegar. Here's some cornstarch which I had put in a glass with a little bit of water. And pour it in this, give it this nice consistency. It also gives it a nice glaze. to the cauliflower. I'm going to start mixing. I put the cauliflowers in the base that I made. I'm not going to stir it a whole lot. You can see that the cornstarch is blending its glaze and lending a glaze to the cauliflower. And I'm ready to plate this now. I'm going to garnish this with some mint. Some chopped spring onions here. And then my favorite cilantro. So here is Gobi Manchurian, which is done my way. Hope you enjoy this. I'm going to now also make some Veg Hakka noodles along with that. Some Veg Hakka noodle now. I'd shown you the ingredients earlier. These are mostly all juliennes. All veggies have been cut lengthwise. I'll start with the ginger and garlic. Be careful when you're putting jalapenos, it can make this very spicy. I have cut a lot more than I thought I wanted to put, so I'm just going to put half of these in here. Mix all the remaining onions. Carrots. These are sliced white mushrooms. I'm going to put in half the spring onions and give this a nice toss. So as I continue my story, very fond of Chinese food. My two favorite places in San Francisco are Henry's Hunan. You definitely want to try their meat pie as well as their rock cod fillet. Love it there. They have a few branches in San Francisco. I go to Ming's Cafe quite a bit. Love the cumin pork and the garlic chicken there. There's also House of Nanking for those who want to try that. As far as Desi Chinese, I've been to two places. One is Ancient Bamboo Garden and the other one is Red Hot Chili Peppers. The key to Chinese cooking at home is making it on a high flame. But you have to constantly stir it in order to just keep an eye on it. So all these veggies are getting tossed and stirred in here. I'm not going to overcook them, just put some pepper. And then start putting in the noodles. I'm going to put some soy sauce in here. Some more salt. And then give it a nice shake here. So the Veg Hakka noodles are done now, and I'm going to pour it in this nice bowl. Garnish this with cilantro, some mint, and spring onions. Give it a nice squeeze. The lime, and that's it. Here is my version of Veg Hakka noodles and the Gobi Manchurian. Friends, here it is, my Veg Hakka noodle and Gobi Manchurian. Hope you enjoyed it and my stories. Don't be afraid to try this at home. Experiment, do make it your own. Okay, this is Sash signing out. Thank you.